The Syrian war, now in its 13th year, continues to cause widespread suffering. Millions have been displaced from their homes and the infrastructure is in ruins. But the conflict is not just a local tragedy, it has become a dangerous vortex, pulling in regional and global powers. The Assad regime, though weakened, clings to power. The Russian military intervention in 2015 proved decisive in supporting Assad. However, Moscow's attention has been diverted by its war in Ukraine. This shift has created an opportunity for other players, most notably Iran, to increase their influence. Iran's growing presence in Syria, particularly in the south, is a major concern for Israel. Israel views Iran's presence as a direct threat to its security. For its part, Tehran sees Syria as a crucial link in its goal of extending its influence throughout the region. Thus, the Syrian conflict has become a powder keg. The potential for miscalculation and escalation is high. Understanding the complex web of alliances, rivalries, and historical grievances is essential to navigating this volatile landscape. Southern Syria has become a microcosm of the wider regional struggle for dominance. With Russia's attention divided, Iran has seized the opportunity to expand its influence. This expansion is orchestrated through Tehran's network of allied militias, including Hezbollah. Israel, deeply concerned by Iran's entrenchment, has responded with a campaign of airstrikes targeting Iranian assets and personnel. These strikes underscore Israel's determination to prevent Tehran from establishing a permanent military infrastructure in Syria. Adding another layer of complexity is the presence of various other armed groups operating in southern Syria. These groups, often with shifting loyalties and agendas, further complicate the security landscape. The Syrian government, while nominally in control of the south, remains heavily reliant on its foreign backers. This reliance has eroded Damascus's authority and hampered its ability to impose order. The shockwaves of the Syrian conflict are felt beyond its borders, particularly in neighboring Lebanon and the Gaza Strip. The Syrian conflict has further destabilized Lebanon, which is already grappling with its own internal political and economic crises. The influx of over 1 million Syrian refugees has strained Lebanon's already fragile infrastructure and social fabric. Hezbollah's deep involvement in the Syrian war has also exacerbated sectarian tensions within Lebanon. Gaza, under Israeli blockade, faces its own set of challenges. The conflict has worsened the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and complicated reconstruction efforts. Moreover, any escalation between Israel and Iran in Syria could easily spill over into Gaza. Both Lebanon and Gaza are caught in the crossfire of the regional dimensions of the Syrian conflict. Their fates are intertwined with the actions of the major players on the Syrian stage. The Syrian war, now in its second decade, has become a complex knot of overlapping conflicts and competing interests. The absence of a clear end and the presence of numerous actors with conflicting goals make a solution seem elusive. The international community, often divided and paralyzed, has proven largely incapable of effectively addressing the crisis. Diplomatic efforts have stalled, and the human cost continues to mount. Meanwhile, the Syrian people remain trapped in a cycle of violence and displacement. Their country has become a battleground for proxy wars and a breeding ground for extremism. The Syrian conflict is a stark reminder of the human cost of geopolitical rivalries. It is a cautionary tale of how regional conflicts can spiral out of control, with devastating consequences that reverberate far beyond the initial epicenter.